Okay. Yeah. This year, so mostly millions people. This year only 1,000 people because of pandemic. Yeah. And this is the first year that since my twin was born, I can be with them for Eid al-Adha. As you know that there is different type of ibadah. Ibadah only need your body, right, and your hearts. Like salah, ibadah, worship only need your wealth, like zakah. But Hajj is combination of these three. You need physics, you have to be present there, and you need also wealth, you have to have money, but also you have to have intention, correct intention. You have to know what type of Hajj you perform. And while you are there, also you have to be focused to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, Hajj different than other worship. And people before leave Hajj, like if he going never come back again. Look at people, sometimes they're crying and say bye-bye in the airport. Yeah. Uh, and also the other ibadah, you can do anywhere. Can you pray in Redmond, in Olympia, pray, in Makkah, in Japan? Yeah. You can pay zakat anywhere, right? You can do Ramadan anywhere. But Hajj had to be in the Pacific place and specific time. So this is special ibadah. Yeah. Okay. So this is called the dress code of Ihram, right? Uh, Mikhail, would you like to please Mikhail read? Mikhail from Olympia?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
The dress code of Ihram is the official dress code of Hajj. It resembles with the shroud that every Muslim wears after his death. Ihram isn't just a dress code, it's kind of a state in which the pilgrim has to obey all the requests to follow the Hajj rituals. May Allah grant every Muslim to wear ihram at least once in his lifetime. Ameen.
MashaAllah, it's great. So Mikhail, he was grew up in Makkah. I think he's Miss Makkah and his brother. Yeah, they was born there and MashaAllah. Thank you very much, Mikhail. Good job. So this is Ihram. Ihram first is to remove the status, the ego, arrogant, right? So during Hajj, you won't be able to recognize who's the ambassador, who's the king, the master, the employees. Everybody have wearing the same clothes. Because the problem with human being, people are divided into the have and the have not. If you go to some places, you can see the uniform. You not belong to that because you don't have that uniform. But in Hajj, nothing. Right? So Ihram to remove that. But at the same time, it's not only remove your uniform clothes, but also have to remove in your heart. Because if you're wearing ihram, but you still have feeling of pride and arrogance, Allah said, I don't need your Hajj. But at the same time, if to remind us, when we die, you cannot bring your toys, your car, your home, all your belonging. Right? Even if you bring it, will not benefit you. This is the only clothes you get to bring it. Allah. Right? Everything will be bye-bye. Your new shoes, bye-bye. Right? Everything. So therefore, you have to prepare for it. Remember that. So one day, you have to think of everything. Yeah, meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. So Hajj, he said, so Al-Hajj Arafah, Hajj is Arafah. This is the month of Ar-Rahmah. You know, historically, this is how Adam and Eve, or Adam and Hawa met, right? Remember Adam, when Allah kicked him out from Jannah, he landed in the, what you call, in India, and Hawa is in Jeddah, so Jeddah called grandmother. So they didn't see one another for 2 years. Why? Because of the sin they committed. Only because they eat that pig. Look, so I remember this, just to remind you. When you commit sin, you become lonely. Allah divided. They used to be close with Allah, with one another. Right? So imagine Adam was walking from India to Saudi Arabia now. Of course, this before earthquake, you know, because there is because maybe on that day you can walk by land, from India to Makkah. And then Hawa was looking for Adam, so walking, and then suddenly both of them, Allah gave him feeling to go to that mountain. Then Adam said, "Ka'annani araftu." Look like I know this girl. And Hawa said, "Look like I know this guy." They call Arafah. Arafat means knowing again. They're knowing again. But not only knowing one another, but knowing that the reason, you know, they was in good place in Jannah. They are here now, have to suffer because of the sin. So both of them recognize, right? So don't let Shaitan deceive you. Like the Quran said, "La yaftinannakum," right? Don't Shaitan deceive you, because, you know, like Shaitan deceive Adam, they will deceive you too, right? So also this is the moment that all the Muslims who come for Hajj, you know, they expect it. Because in this mountain, Allah also revealed to Muhammad SAW the last revelation. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. This day I completed for you my religion. Alas. So Abu Bakr cried. You know, people said, "Why are you crying, man? You should be happy. Everything complete." Yeah. When Islam complete, the one who carry Islam will leave. It is true. You know, not even 1 year, Rasulullah SAW passed away after that. Yeah. So this is and also before sunset, when all people, maybe 3 million something, 2.5 million, gather together in the place, Allah will call the angel. Allah said, "All of you look down, really look down." They will see all white. And he said, "Bear witness. I look at all this, my slave came from all the corner of the world. They came from Cambodia, from Vietnam, from Indonesia, from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, right? From America. All of them just looking for two things: forgiveness and Jannah." So he asked all the angels to bear witness. Bear witness that I have forgive all of them. So this I said, Shaitan never really cry, you know, and only twice. When is it? Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, and also the day of Arafah. Why? Because maybe some of them, it was written, Taqdir, they will be the candidate of Jahannam, of hellfire. But because he was there, he begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah forgive them. Shaitan said, oh, my best friend is gone. Yeah. So that's Arafat. Yeah. So what we can learn from Hajj? Number one, Hajj is ceremony of love and devotion to Allah. Love and devotion. Yeah. Fadil, can you read? Fadil, are you there?
Yes. A Muslim's relation with Allah is that of a deep love. Sorry, a Muslim's relation with Allah is that of deep love, devotion, and obedience. We love Allah because He loves us. He loves them and they love Him. Al-Madinah 554. Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, loved Allah and Allah took him as a friend, Khalil. We read in the Quran, Allah took Ibrahim as a friend. Hajj is deeply associated with Prophet Ibrahim and his life story.
Story. Yeah. So basically, Hajj is like you play a role as a movie. So sometimes you become Ibrahim alayhi salam. That you have to build a Kaaba. Like Ibrahim, you have to sacrifice. Right? Yeah. Sometimes you act like Ismail there. Or like Hajar, working from Safa and Marwa. Right? And all this because of love. The song called The Power of Love. Love can change a lot of things. Can you imagine a father who loves so much his son, Ismail? Not only that, he was waiting almost 100 years. And Allah give him now beautiful son, obedient son. Yeah. So before, Allah called him Khalil. Mean Khalil also mean the beloved. Because Allah loved Ibrahim, Ibrahim loved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Ibrahim's love not divided. No. He loved Allah and he loved also his son Ismail. Like you love Allah, you love your game. Right? So sometimes Allah tests you. He was playing game. Ayyala salah. Come on, pray. Wait. That's the first thing. You love to sleep, right? As-salatu khayrun minan nawm. Pray better than sleep. And you don't come to you. Wake up, wake up. That's the test. Alhamdulillah. Your test is not like Ibrahim. Ibrahim had to sacrifice, his only son. He could say, Ya Allah, wait a minute, why? He can say why. Allah not angry. But not Ibrahim. Ibrahim is happy when Allah. Because Ibrahim, he know. When Allah asks to do something, it should be what? It should be for his goodness. Not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ismail the same. Ya abatif al-ma tumar. When Ibrahim informed him that I have to slaughter him, right? He said, Dad, do what Allah commanded you to do. No question to all of you. If your dad come to you and said, son, I have to kill you. What are you going to say? Dad, what did you eat last night? You lost your mind? Right? We call 911. That's not Ibrahim, not Ismail. Ismail. Because Ismail, he said to us, Dad, this is not your command, not my command, not my mom's command. It's Allah's command. Just do it. That's really love. And because they love Allah and they submit to Him, Walamma aslama, when both submit, and they put down and the knife already there. You know, Ismail, he said, Dad, please take off my clothes. Because I don't want to see my mom with blood. Yeah. And then, please tie me up, tightly. Because I don't want, you see I'm moving and you won't be able to call me. He said when he said it, the trees and the rock was crying. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved Ibrahim and Ismail. So they replaced with what? With the lamb. 2 lambs came from Jannah. So that's why every year we commemorate this occasion. Yeah. Abdullah Hassan, is there Abdullah Hassan? Okay, Afif. Afif, are you there, Afif?
Yeah, okay. Hajj gives us a sense of history. Our faith is deeply rooted in history. This is the religion of Allah given to us by His many prophets, Adam, Noah, Ibrahim, Ismail, and finally Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all. These were the people who loved Allah, and Allah loved them and made them the guides of humanity.
Yeah. In all Sharia, before Muhammad Sallallahu one the pillar also the Hajj. He said, all prophets, whether they mention their name in Quran or not, before they die, they go to Hajj. They went for Hajj. He said that, and many of them they died, thousands of them they died around the Kaaba. So that means around the Kaaba there's many graves of the prophets and messengers, include Nuh, right? Only one prophet, because he didn't have time on that day, right? He was busy, people tried to kill him. They prophet Isa alayhi salam. So Rasulullah said, Isa alayhi salam will stay for 7 years, and there will be peace. And he went to mid Hajj, to make tawaf and sa'i. That's Isa alayhi salam. Isa, and then he going to visit Medina, right? And then when people asked him to lead the salat, they said, no, let the Imam be salat, because I came not to bring new Sharia, to bring the Sharia of Muhammad. I follow Muhammad. And then Rasulullah said, and Isa will die in Medina and will bury side by side with me. So there is spot for Isa. Yeah. Okay, number 2, Hajj gives the universal spirit of Islam. Yeah, Misbah, can you read? Misbah?
People of all races, colors, and nationalities go there. They become one people without any class or distinction. They look alike, do the same things. The spirit of Hajj is to foster unity and universal brotherhood and sisterhood among the believers.
Yeah, I would like to show you the Malcolm X when they went for Hajj.
Hospitality and overwhelming spirit of true brotherhood, as it is practiced by the people of all colors and races here in the ancient Holy Land, the home of Abraham, Muhammad, and all the other prophets of the Holy Scriptures. For the past week, I have been utterly speechless and spellbound by the graciousness I see displayed all around me by people of all colors. I have been blessed to visit the holy city of Mecca. I have made my 7 circuits around the Kaaba, led by a young mutawaf named Muhammad. I drank water from the well of Zamzam. I ran 7 times back and forth between the hills of Mount Safa and Marwa. I have prayed in the ancient city of Mina, and I have prayed on Mount Arafah. There were tens of thousands of pilgrims from all over the world. They were of all colors, from blue-eyed blondes to black-skinned Africans. But we were all participating in the same ritual, displaying a spirit of unity and brotherhood that my experiences in America had led me to believe never could exist between the white and the non-white. America needs to understand Islam, because this is the one religion that erases from its society the race problem. Throughout my travels in the Muslim world, I have met, talked to, and even eaten with people who in America would have been considered white. But the white attitude was removed from their minds by the religion of Islam. I have never before seen sincere and true brotherhood practiced by all colors together, irrespective of their color. You may be shocked by these words coming from me, but on this pilgrimage, what I have seen and experienced has forced me to rearrange much of my thought patterns previously held, and to toss aside some of my previous conclusions. This was not too difficult for me. Despite my firm convictions, I have always been a man who tries to face facts and to accept the reality of life as new experience and new knowledge unfolds it. I have always kept an open mind, which is necessary to the flexibility that must go hand in hand with every form of intelligent search for truth. During the past 11 days here in the Muslim world, I have eaten from the same plate, drunk from the same glass, and slept on the same bed or on the same rug, while praying to the same God with fellow Muslims, whose eyes were the bluest of blue, whose hair was the blondest of blonde, and whose skin was the whitest of white. And in the words and in the actions and in the deeds of the white Muslims, I felt the same sincerity that I felt among the black African Muslims of Nigeria, Sudan, and Ghana. We were truly all the same brothers, because their belief in one God had removed the white from their minds, the white from their behavior, and the white from their attitude. I could see from this that perhaps if white Americans could accept the oneness of God, then perhaps too they could accept in reality the oneness of man, and cease to measure and hinder and harm others in terms of their differences in color. With racism plaguing America like an incurable cancer, the so-called Christian white American heart should be more receptive to a proven solution to such a destructive problem. Perhaps it could be in time to save America from imminent disaster, the same destruction brought upon Germany by racism that eventually destroyed the Germans themselves. Each hour here in the Holy Land enables me to have greater spiritual insight into what is happening in America between black and white. The American Negro can never be blamed for his racial animosities. He's only reacting to 400 years of the conscious racism of the American whites. But as racism leads America up the suicide path, I do believe, from the experiences that I've had with them, that the whites of the younger generation in the colleges and universities will see the handwriting on the walls, and many of them will turn to the spiritual path of truth, the only way left to America to ward off the disasters that racism inevitably must lead to. Never have I been so highly honored. Never have I been made to feel more humble and unworthy. Who would believe the blessings that have been heaped upon an American Negro? A few nights ago, a man who would be called in America a white man, a United Nations diplomat, an ambassador, a companion of kings, gave me his hotel suite, his bed. Never would I have even thought of dreaming that I would ever be the recipient of such honors. Honors that in America would have been bestowed upon a king, not a Negro. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Sincerely, Al-Hajj Malik Al-Shabazz.
Ah,
Joban, if you're trying to talk, you're on mute right now.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Yeah, this is what you call, I think, did you watch this movie? I encourage to watch. Many American, they become Muslim because of Malcolm X. When I was work at Muslim chapter in prison, I said, how you know Islam? He said, Malcolm X. Yeah, so it gave an impact. Right? And you too can be like Malcolm X, give an impact to the people. Yeah. Okay, Ibrahim, would you like to raise?
All right, sure. Hajj gives us a focus, center, and orientation. We have one Qibla, and that is our direction for worship. But we should not have only one Qibla for worship. We should also have unity of purpose and mission in our life. Muslims should be the people of a focus and direction, not a confused people or people without any orientation or direction. Our focus of life is Allah and the house of Allah, the Kaaba, on this earth. We have with us Allah's book that we must hold fast together. And Al Imran, ayah 103 states, and hold fast altogether Allah's rope and be not divided.
Divided. Yeah, our road means the Quran. Alhamdulillah, we have GPS in our life. Give us direction, the correct direction. Yeah. So in the same time, also, Qibla is symbol of unity. You know, did you notice that you look at the church, when they build the church, is according to the route. Whatever the route, they follow. Right? So we, alhamdulillah, Muslim, whatever you are, before you pray, you have to see west direction. And it's very important because maybe if you are minister, I don't want the direction like this, you know, homeless man. No, you are president, you are not, you have to go the same direction of the Kaaba. Yeah. Number 4, what we can learn from Hajj. Hajj is the ceremony of peace and harmony. Allah. Yeah. Jannah, you there, Jannah? Jannah? Okay, Rafa, Saklan.
Here. All right. The pilgrims come in peace and spend their times together in the most peaceful and respectful manner. They respect every person and everything. They do not harm anyone or anything. This is also the spirit of Islam. Islam is a total commitment to care, compassion, and kindness. Hajj is a symbol of this commitment, and it must be manifest in our daily life.
Yeah. So I said one of the sign of Hajj Mabrur, you know, Allah accepts his Hajj. When he become have peace, harmony, peace with his children, his wife. Like they call Hajj Mabrur. And even he said the Hajj also wipe out everything in the past. When you become Muslim, Islam destroy everything in the past. Also Hijrah and also the Hajj. Right? So the last one, Hajj is also movement, action, and sacrifice. Yeah. Sabrina, is there? Sabrina Al-Qudusi. Rayhana.
Yeah. The pilgrim keeps on moving all the time, with Tawaf Sa'i going to Mina, Arafat, Muzdalifah, Mina again, around the Jamarat and other places. It is a dynamic ceremony, and this is the way a Muslim's life should be. Motion, action, and sacrifice. These things bring success in this life and salvation in the hereafter.
Keep going.
I hope those who have gone to Hajj will learn good lessons from this journey. And we here also should keep these lessons in our minds and lives.
Allah. So, what you call? Hajj basically teach us to be disciplined. When you do Hajj, you look like you are like military. You know military? You see up. Right? So 9 had to be in Arafat. You know, 10 had to be at night in Muzdalifah. Right? Yes, Muzdalifah, you sleep there, nobody there. Yeah, you know, you're like, so this is here, this is Muzdalifah. You become like homeless. And for me, it's the most beautiful time when you Hajj, you stay in Muzdalifah. Yeah. So discipline. And then you have to go to Makkah. From Makkah, you go back to Mina, and so on. Yeah. So that's 5 lessons we learn from what you call from Hajj. Yeah. And now would like to ask the presenters to be ready, inshallah. So we have Astrid, Hannah, Safia, and Zaid. Yeah. Okay, Safia, can you start first?
Yeah, I'll start.
You have presentation, you can show it.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to present about Fatima bint Muhammad radiallahu. Who is Fatima? Fatima is the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and Khadija radiallahu anha. She is the wife of Ali radiallahu anhu, the Prophet's cousin, the mother of 2 sons, Hassan and Hussein, and 2 daughters, Zainab and Kulthum. Her name is also Fatima al-Zahra. Fatima and her faith. Fatima was one of the first women to accept Islam, along with her sisters Ruqayya, Zainab, and Kulthum, and her mother Khadija. She spent her early years under the care and love of both her parents. Fatima had never doubted Islam and always respected her father as the messenger of Allah. Fatima the caring. Fatima was very caring, especially to her mother and father. As soon as she found out that her father was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, she accepted it right away. One day Abu Jahl ordered someone to put the leftover of a dead camel on the Prophet's back while he was praying in sujood. Fatima saw this and quickly took it off and cleaned her father's back. She then scolded the disbelievers and Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt, who was the one who put the dead camel on the Prophet's back. Her care for the Prophet ﷺ was like none others. Fatima the Brave. The Prophet's youngest daughter, Fatima, was very brave. When she was a young girl out of nowhere while walking on the streets of Mecca, Abu Jahl had came along and given her a tight slap on her cheek. She was brave enough to go tell Abu Sufyan, who then took her and told her to slap Abu Jahl the exact same way he did to her, and that's what she did. Fatima went and told the Prophet ﷺ what happened. He was pleased with Abu Sufyan's fairness and justice. The Prophet ﷺ told his daughter, Fatima, would you like to be the leader of the women of paradise? Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, One day an angel came and told me the glad tidings that Fatima radiallahu anh will be the leader of women of paradise. Aisha radiallahu anh narrated she bore a remarkable resemblance to Allah's Messenger. Her way of speaking, sitting, standing, and walking, in other words, all her manners and gestures were exactly like his. And one day, when Surah An-Nasr was revealed, the Prophet ﷺ told Fatima that his life on earth was coming to a close. Then Fatima heard it and started to cry. Then he told her that from among his family members that she would be the first one to meet him. At that, she started smiling. A role model. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is a role model to all Muslims in the world, and his daughter Fatima is one of mine too. She was a very brave, caring, patient, and amazing Muslim. Fatima is also a very important girl in Islam. During the battle, she was at the front nursing the wounded and sick. Her father was the Prophet ﷺ. Her husband was a Khalifa, Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anh. Her sons Hassan and Hussein were also Khalifas after their father. Fatima is one of my favorite women in Islam, and women also play a great role in our religion. Thank you.
MashaAllah. Takbir, Allah Akbar. Yes. That's great. Yeah, thank you, Safia. Yeah, she chose Fatima, MashaAllah. That's 4 women will be the queen of Jannah. And one of them Fatima. Not because Fatima is the Prophet's daughter, because if her sacrifice, her devotion, right? And she is so shy. And when she was asked, who's the righteous woman? She said, the one who don't want to be seen. Right? Yeah. So alhamdulillah, so we hope all the girls, try to resemble the life of Fatima. Okay, Zaid.
Brother Joban, can you please give me the ability to share my?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay, thank you. Give me just 1 second, please.
Okay.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah, that's good. Great.
Okay. Zayd, Assalamu alaikum. My presentation is about Zayd ibn Haritha radiallahu ta'ala anhum. Early life. Zayd radiallahu ta'ala anhum was born in 581 AD, which meant he was 10 years younger than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When Zayd was a young boy, he accompanied his mother on a visit to her family. While they were staying with the Man tribe, horsemen from the Qayyan tribe raided their tents and kidnapped Zayd. Zayd's family searched for him, but without success. The horsemen took him to the market in Opaz and sold him as a slave for 400 dinars. Adult life. Zayd radiallahu ta'ala anhum was the one in the company of the Prophet when he went to Taif after the people of Mecca rejected him and the message of Islam. In fact, Zayd radiallahu ta'ala anhum shielded him with the Prophet with his body from the stones thrown at him and the Prophet by the children of Taif. He remained with the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ until the Prophet advised him to migrate to Medina with those who migrated. The Prophet ﷺ used to love him dearly and would personally welcome him whenever he would return from a mission. Zayd radiallahu ta'ala anhum was given the glad news of Jannah. Death of Zayd radiallahu ta'ala anhum. Zayd bin Haritha radiallahu ta'ala anhum died in the Battle of Muta at the age of 48. When the Prophet ﷺ came to know about the Battle of Muta and heard about the passing of Zayd, he was very sad. He personally went to Zayd's house and gave his condolences to the family. Facts about Zayd ibn Haritha radiallahu ta'ala anhum. He was the only Sahabi who was mentioned by name in the Quran. He was commonly regarded as the third person to have ever accepted Islam. He was the only person who accompanied the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam walking through Taif while being pelted with stones and being spat upon. Another thing is when the Prophet sent out an expedition with Zayd ibn Haritha, he always made Zayd ibn Haritha the commander. Thank you.
MashaAllah. Very good. Yeah. So you talk about you, huh? That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Should I stop sharing now?
Yeah, stop it sharing. Yeah.
Okay.
Good, Zayd. MashaAllah. Good job. Yeah, Zayd used to become adopted son of Rasulullah SAW. When Khadijah got married and Khadijah gave Zayd, used to be slave, right? But then Rasulullah set him free. And his name was called Zayd bin Haritha, Zayd bin Muhammad. He was very happy, the son of the Prophet. But then the ayah was revealed, Ud'uhum li abayhim. Call him according to his father. He feels sad. But then Allah mentioned his name in Surah Al-Ahzab. وَلَمَّا قَضَى مِنَّا زَيْدٌ وَفَرًا. The only Sahaba mentioned by name in the Quran is Zayd, not Abu Bakr, not Ali. Allah want to please him. Yeah. So now is Hannah.
Imam Joban.
Yeah.
You gave Zayd the host, so you can't change anything unless Zayd were to give you back the host status.
Okay.
So Zayd, can you?
I personally don't know how to do that at the moment.
Okay.
Go to participant list.
Okay.
And have your mouse hover over Imam Joban's name.
Okay.
There should be an option to give him back the host status.
Yeah, right here.
You are excellent, Ibrahim. MashaAllah.
Okay, Brother Joban, you're now the host.
Okay, good. Yeah, now from California. Yeah, Hina? Are you there? Are you here now, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, so you
I
can
can't
start now.
share screen yet.
Yeah, I just give you screen now. You with Misbah and Nabil, or you are alone?
No, I'm alone.
Oh, okay. So I just give it to Misbah and Nabil. Where
I
is
still
your?
can't share my screen.
Ah, we're looking for you. I will give you, inshallah. Just like that. Yeah, yeah. I'm very, very.
I have two stairs. Don't want him. I have.
Okay. Maybe just.
Ke Hana Ustaz, bukan ke Misbah, ke Hana S.
Okay, udah, ya udah sekarang Hana ya. Ya, you can open now.
Okay. Can you guys see the screen?
I know.
Okay. So I did a presentation on the topic of modesty in Islam. What is modesty? Modesty is the quality or state being of unassuming or moderate in the estimation of one's ability. In Islam, modesty isn't just about how you dress, but also how you go on about your everyday life. Haya, or in this case, humility, is a natural or inherent shyness and a sense of modesty. The concept of haya is considered to be a major Islamic virtue and an essential part of human character. Haya is the grain of personal and social morality, values, and behavior. Haya does not indicate that a person lacks self-confidence. In fact, the person most noted for haya was the third Khalifa, Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu. Attitude is a subtle way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. Your attitude towards things is also a big part of modesty. Attitude is and how you approach things, because your attitude will make a difference. Your behavior towards people and how you treat them. Simplicity is the quality or condition of being easy to understand or do. Everyone upon the earth will perish, and there will remain the face of your Lord, owner of majesty and honor, stated in Surah Ar-Rahman, ayah 26 to 27. So, in the end, your vehicles that you have will soon break, and all the electronics that you possess will soon go out of date. All of your possessions are temporary, so it is better to live a simple life than worrying about simplicity in our lives. Also, that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala presented us. Clothing means less outfit, and wearing as an illustration that it is a and Islam a
Okay. MashaAllah. Yeah. Are you done? Thank you, Anna. It's very good. This is very important subject. You know, one of the character of Muslim is modesty. In Arabic called haya. From the word haya, I mean life. You don't have modesty, it's better you die. He said Rasulullah SAW, he more modesty, more shy than the virgin, right? Yeah. Okay, Astrid, are you ready? Astrid?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Screen.
Yeah, you are co-host now.
Wait, I don't know how to share my screen.
Just look at the blue and then the sharing screen, the green one.
Wait.
Yeah, the green one, and then they will see there. Just click the green one, the share screen.
Okay, so today I'm going to talk about speaking up because of recent events. So this might not be your regular lesson, but yeah. So okay, you might be asking why, like why should I care about like recent events like Black Lives Matter or the problem in Palestine or the Muslims in China, but you should care because of compassion. In this hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that he and several of his companions were sitting down along a street in Medina. Suddenly, a companion spotted a funeral procession approaching the group. In respect of the dead human body, Muhammad stood up as the procession crossed in front of him. At that moment, a companion who was still sitting down said to the Prophet, "This is the funeral of a Jew. He is not a Muslim." Upon hearing these words, Muhammad became upset and said to the companion, "Is he not a human soul?" The message here is clear. Prophet Muhammad respected human beings irrespective of their religion. He taught mankind that every human soul is important, whether dead or alive, whether Muslim or not. This is Muhammad's concept of dignity and something we should learn from. Speaking Speaking against injustice is a part of Islam. Of course, there will always be some Muslims who are passionate about speaking up against social problems, but it doesn't seem to be the norm in the Ummah as it probably was at one point in time. One thing that's noticeable is that people tend to speak up against wrongdoings only when it affects them directly, which contradicts the teachings of Islam. As Muslims, we are urged to change injustice when we witness it. According to a hadith, the Prophet once said, "Whoever of you sees an evil, let him change it with his hand, and if he is not able to do so, then let him change it with his tongue. And if he is not able to do so, then with his heart, and that is the weakest of faith." Okay, steadfastness. Steadfast or istiqamah is commonly defined in the English language as a remaining firm, committed, dedicated, and constant. In an Islamic context, steadfastness or istiqamah means remaining firm on your iman in times of difficulty and staying patient while trusting Allah. In addition, being firm with your beliefs played a big role among the prophets, obviously. Some examples are Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, who was called as a prophet to his people to share the universal message of Tawheed, or belief in one true God. The people rejected Nuh's message and
Can you get my stuff? Hey, you better be specific with my wallet in the room. It's in the room. It's in my room.
Okay, continue. Astrid, continue. Unmute your.
Oh, okay. The people rejected Nuh's message and ridiculed him as a crazy liar. Nuh's only concern, however, was to help the people and fulfill his responsibility, and so he persevered. No, so he persevered. Ibrahim, and to add, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was the son of an idol maker, but as he grew older, he deemed that the wooden statues were not worthy of worship. Overall, he challenged a whole system of idol worship, left the culture of idol worship, and brought people towards the worship of one God. Not only did the prophets left, oh my gosh, not only did the prophets and messengers left us with a message of Islam, we can also see that they left a legacy of a fighting spirit. As was true of so many of Allah's prophets, the people have mostly ridiculed and threatened them. However, they've always stayed true to their beliefs. Though today's youth have clearly never been threatened and expelled by the Quraysh, thankfully. On a smaller scale, we can see that this generation especially have been using their voices for change and to educate Karens and ignorant people. Speaking up means we acknowledge that there's a problem, we identify the problem, raise awareness, and walk towards change. Also, raising awareness about an issue deters perpetrators. Silence enables injustice even further. To add, Surah An-Nisa ayah 135 emphasizes the importance of standing up against injustice. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if they be against yourselves or parents and relatives. The benefit of helping each other. A hadith says, whoever relieves a believer's distress of the distressful aspects of this world, Allah will rescue him from a difficulty of the difficulties of the hereafter. Whoever alleviates the situation of one in dire straits who cannot repay his debt, Allah will alleviate his lot in both this world and in the hereafter. Whoever conceals the faults of a Muslim, Allah will conceal his faults in this life and the hereafter. So, since I'm talking about injustice and that stuff, I wanted to bring awareness to some of the problems that are happening in the world right now. And I'm pretty sure most of you know what's happening, but some of you might not. But I'm still going to talk about it here because it's still a problem going on in the world. So, in Yemen is suffering from the world's worst humanitarian crisis in the last 100 years. To add, they're fighting off a pandemic, epidemic, and war at the same time. 18 million lack access to clean water, and 2 million children are malnourished. Lastly, every 10 minutes, a child dies in Yemen. In China, right now, more than 3 million Uyghur Muslims and other Muslim minorities are put in concentration camps in Xinjiang, China. Chinese leaders consistently claim that these camps are for voluntary education and training, but inmates are forced to renounce Islam, criticize their Islamic beliefs, eat pork, and consume alcohol in the camps. How you can help. Oh no, wait. Okay, so you can help by simply sharing and reposting about what's happening through social media, watching documentaries to educate yourselves, signing petitions, and donating. Ibu, if any of you guys are watching this, I know that you guys are on WhatsApp 24/7, and instead of sharing pictures of your quarantine cooking, you can also forward petitions and such. And remember that a hadith said, the Muslims are like a single man. If the eye is afflicted, then the whole body is afflicted. If the head is afflicted, then the whole body is afflicted. Okay, I'm done. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
MashaAllah, Astrid, great job. That was excellent, MashaAllah. Yes, we need that. Right? And the hadith also said, who does not care with the Muslim affairs is not among us. Right? Muslim have to cry when they see Muslim suffering, and even in China, in India, in Yemen, right? If you not cry, you're not among them. Yeah. So inshallah, we'll talk a little bit about etiquette and ruling of Eid al-Adha. Right. So inshallah, on Friday in the morning, taking bath, take shower, and don't eat after Fajr. It is Sunnah. You know, in Idul Fitr, it is Sunnah to eat after Fajr. So eat after pray, this Sunnah. But if you're hungry, it's okay. Yeah, maybe try to eat before the Fajr. And then make takbir. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. A lot. Allah said, وَاذْكُرُوا فِي أَيَّامٍ مَّعْدُودَةٍ. That is command. Remember Allah in the certain day. Right? And every after Salat. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You drive the car. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Yeah? This is Sunnah. Make takbir. Until 3 days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday after Asar is Monday after Asar is gone. Alas. Kalau ayam mutashri. And then after you finish Salat, you're offering congratulations. That you can say Taqabbal minna wa minkum. Right? Or Eid Mubarak. Whatever is easy. Indonesian call minal aidin wal faizin. Yeah. But this is the Sunnah of Rasulullah SAW. Yeah. And then adorning oneself on the occasion of Eid, you know, make new clothes, right? Not the old one, right? Because Eid is our Eid. Rasulullah have special clothes for the Eid, right? So going to the prayer by one route in the thing, I don't know. So if you go to 405, maybe I-90 when you return, or here, you know, a different route, it is Sunnah, yeah. So that I think. So the next presentation next week will be Hiam Umar, Nia Amini, Helmi Bahauddin, and Wildan Sabutra. Yeah, and then the following one, Sabrina, Aisha, Mawadda, and Yusuf Rashid. Yeah. So don't forget tomorrow, if you can, to fast. This is called the fasting of Arafah. Allah forgive the previous 1 year sin, and then next year, Allah, how many sin we committed last year? And also there's many other reward. Besides fasting, try to read Quran, make a lot of dhikr, right? And don't forget to give sadaqah. You can search in the website. There's many organizations because the reward of sadaqah during tomorrow will be great in the sight of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Right? Any question? So would like to say Eid Mubarak. Right? Taqabbal minna wa minkum. May Allah SWT accept all our good deed during this, 8 days, our fasting, our qiyam, our reading Quran, our sadaqah, right? And all of them. Okay? Let we read inshallah dua closing always. The first one is said, Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa qina adzabannar. Means Allah give us benefit for what we learned today. Rabbi zidna ilma. Allah increase our knowledge. Rabbi gfirli wa liwalidayya warhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. Allah, please forgive me, forgive my parents, and have mercy upon them. Allahumma rfa'anna al-bala wal-waba wal-corona. May Allah remove the calamity, the bala, and also protect us from corona. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adzabannar. Subhanaka wa bihamdika la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik. Wa sallallahu alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.